What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Crew First Culture podcast. Thank you so very much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time, and I value that time and hope to exchange some value to your life for that time. That's the goal, at least. So, jumping right into it, desire versus discipline. So, this is really a topic of just some random things I've been listening to on my commute back and forth to work here lately, and things that I really needed to hear, I think, because it's kind of working me back into the mindset that I need to be in to be able to do this, to share with you. And so desire versus discipline. Wanting something versus actually doing what is required to achieve that something. I think that we all know, for the most part, what we need to be doing, what we should be doing, what's best for us, what's not so good for us. We all know. But it's those actions that support and follow up that knowledge that really is the most important. What good is that knowledge if we don't do anything to support it? What good is knowing that a certain food is bad for us and can kill us and give us cancer if we don't have the discipline to stay away from it and to avoid it so that we support that knowledge that we have? It's useless. And I think that goes for pretty much everything in our life, and especially in the areas that I'm kind of, focused on is our purpose, our reason for being, why we're here, what we're supposed to be doing with our lives. And I think it's come to my mind several times when I'm trying to develop a class or, building something to speak on, that stuff like that. And part of me says, what am I doing? The people that are at these conferences, the people that are listening to these podcasts, they know all this. The people that need to hear it probably more than anybody are the people that avoid those things. So what do I have to share with people that already really know what they should be doing or what's best for them? And that's just that desire that's not being followed up with discipline for me. That's me knowing what I need to do, but it's the lies that my mind keeps telling me to try to avoid some discomfort or try to avoid some work or whatever. Because the truth is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's there to hear your message or to sit in the audience when you're speaking. The people that are there need to hear what you have to say. And no, you're not going to resonate with everybody. You're not going to just drop things into people's laps that change their lives every time, at least for sure. But you never know when somebody is there that needs to hear what you have to say. And so I know that. I truly have faith in that. It means nothing. It has nothing to do with the person I am or, anything I've done on my own. It's the person I've been placed here on this earth to be. It's the message that has been placed in my heart. Nothing to do with myself. So I know that, yet I still struggle with the discipline to continue. It's like this whole podcast and social media. I feel like social media is almost a different entity for me right now. I'm struggling even more to get back into social media just because I just am so tired of the algorithms and the work that I put into it for it not to even be seen, because who knows who Facebook is going to allow to see it, and it's just irritating to me. This is different. I don't care about if if this is a message that doesn't reach everybody, there's nothing I could do about it. But I want to keep pushing forward. I want to keep sharing what I have to say because it is a part of the reason I am here. I know it. There's no doubt in my mind. Yet life situations and just mental barriers keep me from doing it, keep me from staying consistent with it. And sometimes that's okay. I after a long period, I got back on and recorded, 2 or 3 episodes, and felt like, man, I'm so excited to be back, and I'm just hoping to keep that momentum up. And literally, just within a week or two of getting kind of back into that and feeling that drive again, several things happened in my family that just killed it. I once again had to take that focus and put it somewhere else. I once again was I just didn't have the energy or the mental bandwidth to share again. And that's just life. And so, it's been another little bit of a long streak until I put anything out because of things. And got back on another episode with another good friend, Preston Lyons, with the Relentless Rejects podcast. If you haven't listened to that, I ask that you take a little time to do that. It's not a little time, it's about an hour and 40 minutes, but really enjoyed that conversation. I was able to share some things that I've, haven't talked about, at least to that extent of openness about it, and just really thought it was a good conversation and hope that a lot of people can get some stuff out of it. But after that, just within a few days, I was like, man, I want to do it. I want to get back into it. I want to start sharing again. And literally, I think 3 days after, he released the podcast, and I was kind of really excited about getting back and starting that momentum again. My last living grandparent, my grandma, died. And, a wonderful woman that, along with my other grandparents, shaped who I am. And it's just like, why every time that I finally work up the energy and the mental strength and just feeling emotionally tied to the message again, does something have to happen? And I don't want to be that way. I'm not somebody that is going to question. I'm not somebody who wants to question life and the circumstances that life brings you. I don't want to be that way. She was, I believe, 92, 93 years old. She lived a very long, great life. Why do I have the right to question any of that, especially when it really evolves around my conveniences or my desires? It's ridiculous for me to even feel that way. So I don't want to use those situations as not really a crutch, but an excuse that keeps me from pursuing my purpose and keeps me from doing the things that I know I need to be doing to achieve what I know I'm put here to do. And so, there's I believe it's Wayne Gretzky, the pretty famous quote, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And I think that's where I need to really get into a better headspace about this stuff. Not everything I put out is going to be a winner. A few of them hopefully will be. I've shared so many times that I'm not just going to put out stuff just to put out stuff. So even if it doesn't hit with very many people or anybody, I am okay with that message because it is something that I feel like I need to be sharing. So from that perspective, I can't be avoiding these things and using life situations to keep me from it. I've got to keep pursuing what I need to be pursuing. And, you know, maybe one of every 100 episodes or whatever else is going to really hit home to a lot of people. I don't know, but I do know that if I don't do it, then I have absolutely zero chance of making an impact on anybody's life or influencing anybody in a positive direction. So I've got to stay disciplined, and I've got to continue pushing forward towards the purpose that I know that I'm here for. Like I shared with Preston, I no longer know the path. I thought I had a pretty good idea of, the path that I should continue on towards the purpose that I am pretty sure about. But that path is very unclear anymore. I still have a very strong belief in the purpose, but the path is highly in question right now. And so I'm just trying to, like I said with him, I'm trying to be patient and trying to just let me be led in the direction I need to go. But even if I am being patient, even if I am choosing to be led and not just chase after my own will, I've still got to take steps. I've still got to walk that walk. I've got to walk on the path that is in front of me. And if I'm not doing these things, I'm not accomplishing anything. So I think that another issue that I've struggled with, and I know a lot of other people struggle with, because people reach out to me all the time. I have a message that I want to share, or I want to do more, but I just don't know how, or I don't know what to do, or I'm nobody, and whatever. Well, going back to the book that a lot of these things come from for me, the thoughts and inspiration. This quote is from Margaret Richard Olivier, probably. We'll never truly impact others until we get over the destructive desire to impress them. That is a big, eye-opening punch in the face for me. That is exactly one of my biggest issues. I don't want to just put out stuff to keep the likes and the followers rolling and the algorithms in my favor, but I also can't hold back from putting things out because it's not perfect, or because, man, I don't know if people will like this, or this isn't as good as so-and-so's. Again, those are things that I have no control over. I can't allow that possibility of somebody liking or not liking what I'm putting out to hold me back. And I think that is something that holds a lot of us back. I want to repeat that, just because, if you're just listening to this, sometimes you don't catch it, and I want to repeat it again. So, Margaret Richard Olivier: will never truly impact others until we get over the destructive desire to impress them. So that's pretty powerful. I think there is a lot to be said about that. And so going, even deeper into it, I talk a lot about purpose. I say, at least at this point in my life, I'm pretty firm on my purpose and why I'm here. But this is something, a thought that I want to share that goes along with all of this stuff. Your purpose is not just the thing that you were meant to do. It's what happens to others when you do what you were meant to do as well. It's how you make people feel and remember you because of how you do what you do. It's the experience that your energy leaves upon them. So think about that for a little bit. How does that have an impact on you and how you look at purpose? Yeah, I can say my purpose is to share my message and try to help others by giving them the tools that I used to get through the things that I've been challenged with, been faced with, the obstacles and whatever. But if that's it, if it's just words that I'm sharing, I'm not going to really have the impact that I should. It's the true heart behind it. It's the intentionality. It's the authenticity that I am bringing with it. That's who I am. I'm not the most charismatic speaker out there. I'm not the guy that talks about all this super sexy tactics and grabs and all this. I'm just not. Part of me wishes I would be because I love that stuff. Everybody loves that stuff. But that's not who I am. Who I am is somebody that has been through some things that I know a lot of other people would have a really, really hard time making it through if they didn't know the things that I know or use the things that I use to get through them. They were things that were hard for me to get through. So knowing who I am and who I'm not, it's up to me to use that, to be authentic to who I am, to share my heart in a way that only I can, share my story that nobody else has. It's my story and that's it. Nobody else can share it because nobody else has lived my story. And do it in a way that hopefully leaves an impression on people. Hopefully I can use those things in those ways to make a connection that will stay with them. And even after they leave the podcast or the class or wherever it is that they hear me or talk with me, hopefully they can leave feeling an experience, that connection, something that they truly were a part of. That's how they're going to remember it. That's how it's going to really make the biggest impact. And so, yes, I want to pursue my purpose because that's why I'm here. But it's the effects that having that discipline to pursue it, taking those actions of doing those things that I know I need to be doing to pursue that purpose, that has the true effect on others. That's where the magic happens, because that's where the people that are hearing it are getting all of these things together. They're not just getting the message as far as the actual words. They're getting the power of your emotions behind it. They're getting the power of seeing a truly vulnerable, transparent, authentic person sharing. And again, I'm not saying those things to bring anything up special about myself. That's what I have to give. That's my point, is that's really my niche in all of this. And so I know that, I'm comfortable with that, and I want to use that to really just amplify the message I've been given. And so, kind of circling back to where we started, I talked about desire versus discipline, and, the difference between just wanting something or knowing something is good and actually doing things to achieve that something, or actually taking the steps that we know we should be taking in order to pursue that desire. There's a lot of people out there that are in that crossroads. They know that they have something laid on them that they need to be doing, need to be pursuing, need to be challenging themselves with. But knowing it means nothing if you don't step up and start taking the actions that are required to actually get that accomplished. So if that's where you're at, start taking steps that you need to be taken to start pursuing whatever it is. If it's sharing your message, if it's teaching that, that person that you're working with something that you know you need to teach, or speaking out against something that you know isn't right, whatever it is, start taking those steps. We've got to do better about actually applying the knowledge we have, applying the experience we have, and getting a multiple benefit out of it, as opposed to just keeping it to ourselves. So that's all I got. I really appreciate your time. Like I said, thank you very much. I hope something I said kind of spurs some thoughts in you, can maybe give you some self-reflection points to sit and think about. I mean, I can't tell you how much of my growth and everything about me is truly attributed to just self-reflection and digging deep into who I am. So I hope that you kind of find the power of that as well. So thank you. I hope that you will tune in again. If you get anything out of this, please share it, like it, subscribe it, everything that, all the podcasters are supposed to say, and look forward to seeing you next time. So thank you again. Hope you have a great day, week, month, whatever it is. Until next time. And remember, it doesn't matter where you come from or what you have been in the past. Great things can come from you. Thank you.